All right, y'all, so now it's time to lay out the full blueprint and show you step by step what is involved in building a music brand from the ground up. So keep in mind, all of this stuff has taken me over 14 years to learn. So this is gonna be a lot of really good information. Drop everything that you're doing right now, take some notes. Here we go. In the last 3 videos, I explained to you why building a personal brand is so important, and I went all the way to the first steps of building your brand. I even gave you a little assignment to do, which hopefully gave you some more practical ideas of how to do it. So if you haven't watched the first 3 videos, make sure you go back right now before you go any further in this video. Watch the 3 videos first because there's a lot of really good information in there, and then you can come back to this one and finish the rest. It's super important that you don't skip any steps so all of this makes sense and has some type of context. So now that you're all caught up, let's dive into the actual blueprint of how to build a personal brand in the music business. So like I said before, this is everything that I've learned over the past 14 years of my career, not just through my own experiences, but from talking to other successful people, other creatives, artists, producers, songwriters, engineers, executives, label owners. This is everything that I've learned in the past 14 years of being in this business. Step 1 is understand and identify your brand. Now, I did already touch on this a little bit in the second video, but let's dig a little bit deeper. So let's start with some real life examples that I've seen on one of the biggest brand building platforms that we have available to us today, Instagram. All right, so let's say that I'm on Instagram, I'm scrolling through my feed, I'm checking my DMs, and I come across 2 DMs from 2 different artists that are both telling me, asking me to check out their music. So for this particular scenario, we're just gonna call them Artist 1 and Artist 2. Now, Artist 1 has about 200 followers, has a regular looking profile picture, and in their bio it says something like artist, rapper, weed connoisseur, skateboarder, martial artist. So I start looking at their content and it's basically a mashup of selfies, a couple freestyle videos, pictures of weed, them skateboarding, and martial arts. So I click on some of their posts and I also notice that they're currently posting about once a week and they're engaging with and replying to maybe 1 out of every 10 comments. So now let's look at Artist 2. Artist 2 has about 1,000 followers, a high quality photo of what looks like them performing at some type of weed festival, and their bio says artist/rapper, founder of Sky High Records, which I'm assuming is their own independent label. But below that, it also says all inquiries email to info@skyhighrecords.com. So that tells me that they have a website for their record label. And the last line says, new music video out now, Mary Jane, click below to watch. And if we move below that, we see that they even have the little Instagram highlight circles that takes me to different links, their YouTube page, their website, their Spotify page, their Twitter. And if we actually click on some of their posts, we see that he's posting almost every single day and engaging with 90 to 100% of all the comments under his posts. All right, so let's really break this down. It's clear in this scenario that both artists, 1 and 2, have very similar interests. They're both artists, they both make music, they're both weed connoisseurs, and they both DM'd me on Instagram wanting me to check them out and asking for potential collabs. But here's the main difference. The branding for Artist 2 is much more cohesive, and that tells me that this is someone that I should take more seriously than Artist 1. This is a person, not just a person, but an artist that talks about their interests through their content and through their music. And everything is based around that. Now, Artist 2 also has more followers, and now I'm not saying that you have to have more followers than the other person to be taken more seriously, but generally that's a pretty good indication of how active you are on social media, and it's definitely a major tool for artists nowadays. But not only that, Artist 2 has a profile picture of them doing what they actually claim to do, which is being an artist, being a rapper, but it also takes it a step further. It looks like they're performing at some type of weed festival, and so that gives me more insight into their lifestyle and maybe even what their music sounds like. Artist 1 mentioned it in their bio, but that was about it. Nothing about it was really cohesive. It didn't tell any sort of story or narrative around their brand. Artist 2 also indicated that he has a record label, Sky High Records. Now, this is also something that ties into their brand, the weed, the smoking, and they have a new music video out titled Mary Jane. So again, it ties very well into their entire brand and presence. So everything is on brand. You can tell that it was very conscious and that there was some sort of effort put into their presentation. And all of this takes us to step 2. Build an audience with strategic content, social media, and owning the communication with your fans. So when I looked at Artist 1's content, it kind of seemed like a collage. There wasn't really any cohesiveness to their presentation or to their brand. And all of that is totally fine if you just want to use Instagram to share your hobbies, share your interests with your friends and other people you know. But you have to understand that these platforms should be used very differently if you are someone that is looking to become a professional career musician, artist, producer, or songwriter. Artist 2's content was hyper-focused on a specific lifestyle. When you start looking at their content, you see that they're working in the studio, that this person has clips of their latest music video, they have freestyle videos, they have more content around their music and their art, and they're also taking a lot of time out of the day to make sure that they're replying to all of their comments and they're engaging with their audience. It shows effort and it shows intent. Those are the two biggest things on my list aside from how the music sounds. Now, as it stands right now, Artist 1 has almost no chance of expanding their fan base and building onto their audience the way that they are currently presented. And these things might seem small to some people, but they're very easy to spot for someone like me in my position. And it tells me right away how much effort, how much thought, and how serious they are about their career. And that's why branding is so important. It can be the difference between a good first impression and a bad one. And I'm that much more likely to respond to Artist 2 and maybe even collaborate with them. Now, step 3 is create a business entity, start monetizing your brand, and create multiple revenue streams. Artist 2 is currently in the best position to start monetizing their brand because they have a growing audience that connects with their brand. More than likely, they've already started to do it in a couple different ways. It's really, really important to create a business entity that aligns with your goals. And this is going to help so that you can start creating multiple revenue streams and start monetizing all the different parts of your business, from the music to touring and shows to merchandise, sponsorships, and much, much more. Building multiple revenue streams is the key to wealth and building success in the music industry. Now, the second reason why creating a business entity is so important is because of taxes. There are two guarantees in life: death and taxes. But at the very least, you can start taking advantage of some of the benefits by having a registered business entity. So all of this information and more is included in my upcoming music branding mastery course. I'm also going to lay the framework and give you some tools and resources that you can use to start owning the communication with your fans outside of just social media. I'm going to lay out identifying, building, and monetizing your brand from the ground up, step by step. And along the way, I'm going to give you tons of tools and resources that you can tap into and start using to help you start building your brand. All you have to do is watch it, take some notes, and do the work step by step. So get ready, because this is the most comprehensive, important information that I've ever released in my entire 14 years. So in the next video, we're going to fast forward to the end result, and I'm going to show you what a successful monetized brand looks like so that you can envision yourself with the same type of results. So stay tuned for the next video. You definitely won't want to miss it.